If you still think the President of the United States suspending a late-night comedian's show was about a remark, watch what happened the night Kimmel came back, played the clip Trump had spent 6 days trying to bury, and said 5 words that turned 6,260,000 televisions into the most expensive backfire in the documented history of American media pressure. The 5 words were, "That backfired tremendously." He said them at minute 14 of his return monologue, after playing the clip, after playing Trump's response, after playing the FCC chair saying easy way or hard way, and Trump at the Starmer press conference saying Kimmel was fired because of bad ratings. 5 words. Quiet. Even. In the flat, forensic register of a man reading a finding back into the room that produced it. 6,260,000 people were watching. That number, larger than anything Kimmel had drawn in 10 years, produced in part by the suspension that was designed to produce the opposite result, is the complete and sufficient argument for everything that follows. But the argument only makes sense if you run both timelines of the 6 days simultaneously, because the 6 days of the suspension are not one story. They are 2 stories running in opposite directions, arriving at the same Tuesday night, at the precise moment Kimmel sat down, spread wide in his chair, and reached for the printed clip. Timeline 1. Trump, September 17, 6:14 p.m. The show had been preempted by ABC Disney 2 hours earlier. He posted from Windsor Castle, a state visit, the King of England, the specific diplomatic occasion that produces careful messaging from presidents managing their international image. He said, "Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done." He said, "Kimmel has 0 talent and worse ratings than even Colbert." He said it in the Caps Register from a castle, about a comedian, while on a state visit with the monarch of the United States' oldest ally. The following morning, the Starmer press conference. A reporter asked about Kimmel. Trump said, "Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else." He said it with the flat confidence of a man deploying a characterization he has decided is true because he has said it enough times. He said a horrible thing about a great young man named Charlie Kirk. He did not address the FCC. He did not address Brendan Carr's letter to ABC describing the path as easy or hard. He did not address the specific sequence in which a federal regulator had issued a threat and a broadcaster had complied within 48 hours. He addressed the ratings. He addressed the remark. He moved on. Timeline 2. The public. Same 6 days. The ACLU letter. 400 entertainers, 2 union presidents, 3 former FCC commissioners, describing the suspension as a government-coerced act of censorship and demanding Kimmel's reinstatement. The YouGov survey. 68% of Americans finding government pressure on broadcasters to cancel shows unacceptable. Republican Senator Ted Cruz posting that the government telling a comedian what to say was inappropriate. Not an endorsement of Kimmel, the specific, narrow, cross-aisle acknowledgement that the mechanism was the problem regardless of the target. Stewart and Colbert and Oliver and Fallon posting solidarity statements in the specific 24-hour window that began when Colbert said, "Tonight, we are all Jimmy Kimmel," and ended when ABC announced the reinstatement. September 22nd. ABC announced the show would return September 23rd. Trump posted within the hour. He said, "I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back." He said, "The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled." He said, "Something happened between then and now." He said, "His audience is gone." He said it at 9:47 p.m., 2 hours before the East Coast return broadcast. He said it from the residence. He said it with the specific forward energy of a man who has not yet seen the Nielsen numbers and is posting the conclusion he prefers before the data arrives to contradict it. Now, the broadcast. September 23rd, 11:37 p.m. East Coast. Kimmel claimed the chair, both armrests, full width, the specific configuration of a man who has been told his chair is empty for 6 days and is now demonstrating, in the physical grammar of sitting in it, that it is not. He looked at the room. He looked at the camera. He said, "Well, I'm back." He said it the way he says things he means, clean, without setup, without the comedic infrastructure of an entrance that announces itself. He said it the way you say something after 6 days of being told you are gone, with the flat, specific patience of a man who knew he was coming back and waited for the room to receive the confirmation. Then he began. He said, "I want to show you something." He reached for the desk, the slow, deliberate reach of a man retrieving the specific document the 6-day arc had been building toward. He played the clip, not a new clip, the September 15th monologue moment, the 4-year-old mourning a goldfish line, the specific 37 seconds of Kimmel's original broadcast that the Trump administration had described as a horrible thing, and the suspension had been designed to remove from public circulation. He played it in full. The room was quiet. Then he said, "That is the clip the President of the United States spent 6 days trying to make you not see." He said it once. In the flat register of a man reading the definition of an event back into the room where the event occurred. He said, "Let me show you what happened next." He played Trump's Starmer press conference, the bad ratings response, the horrible thing, the flat confidence of a man replacing the actual question with a characterization he found more manageable. He said, "That is the President of the United States at a joint press conference with the Prime Minister of Great Britain addressing a comedian's suspension." He said, "Of all the things that were happening in the world that day," he paused. He chose this one. He said, "I want to read you something." He reached for the printed page, the FCC chair's letter to ABC, the specific document in which Brendan Carr had said the broadcaster could take the path that was easy or hard, and in which he had specifically cited Kimmel's program by name. Confirmation. Kimmel read the easy or hard line twice, once in the documentary register. Once in the slow, even voice of a man reading a sentence that he wants the room to understand, is a threat being described in bureaucratic language. He said, "That is a federal official threatening the broadcast license of a private network because the president doesn't like what a comedian says about him." He said, "I want to be very clear." He said, "That is not legal." He said, "That is not American." He said, "That is un-American." He said, "And I need you to hear that. Not because this show is important, but because what is being described in that letter is the government telling a private broadcaster what its comedians are and aren't permitted to say." He said, "We have to speak out against this bully." He said it quietly. He said, "He's not stopping." He said, "And it's not just comedy." He said, "He's gunning for your journalists too." The room went somewhere it had not been in the 14 minutes before it. Not laughter. The low, sustained frequency of 400 people receiving something they had been waiting for someone to say plainly from a stage, on the record, without the protective infrastructure of irony around it. He looked at the camera. He said, "He tried to cancel me." He said it the way you say a thing that is completely true and requires no elaboration. He said, "Instead, he compelled 6,260,000 people to tune in tonight." He said, "That backfired tremendously." He said it the way he sets down the last piece of a documented argument. Quietly, completely, in the specific register of a finding that has been built from evidence and is now being placed on the desk for the room to examine. He said he might need to release the Epstein files to divert attention from this one. The room broke completely. The laugh was enormous, the single, complete crack of an audience that has been moving between registers for 14 minutes and has just been handed the sentence that releases all of it simultaneously. The inventory of what Trump had deployed to produce the silence. FCC pressure, Sinclair preemption, Nexstar preemption, ABC capitulation, Windsor Castle cancellation post, Starmer press conference dismissal, major illegal campaign contribution threat, ABC license revocation threat, 9 Truth Social posts across 6 days. The inventory of what the silence had produced. A 400-person room in Los Angeles, 6,260,000 households across the country. A clip that had been viewed 41 million times by Friday, and a man in his chair saying the thing that the 6 days of silence had been designed to prevent him from saying. He was still there. The chair was still his. The clip was on the air. The FCC letter was in the public record. The 5 words were in the broadcast archive. That backfired tremendously. The people who subscribe to this channel don't come for drama. They come for the moments nobody else is willing to show. The ones where the most complete available argument against a pressure campaign is not a lawsuit, not a congressional hearing, not an editorial, but 6,260,000 people turning on their televisions on a Tuesday night because they were told not to. Join them. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. The next truth is already on the table.